Marich and Brett Delidio in leading the Tigers. Now the 5AA forecast, mostly sunny today, 26, tomorrow sunny 29. The fine weather continuing over the weekend, 31 on Saturday, 29 for Sunday. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Call 5AA now to Talk Adelaide. 8223 0000. This is Peter Godfrey.
Good morning. 5 minutes past 5, 16 degrees at the moment. Email me here from Donald. This is Donald in Las Vegas, listening to us online. It says, hi Peter, your previous caller mentioned his father had a Ford Model T truck. Now Donald comes from Adelaide, so knows his way around a bit here. He says, I remember as a kid in the early 60s, such a truck used to deliver newspapers around the Marden and Payneham area. Could it be the same one? Well, maybe it is. Don't know. Maybe Mike can let us know if it was. Thank you for that email, Donald. Let's head, from Las Vegas to New Zealand. Selwyn Manning from livenews.co.nz. We're going global this morning, Selwyn. How are you?
Yeah, very good, Peter. We're not as bright lights and neon as the Las Vegas, but we'll do our best. My grandfather, I remember him telling me when I was a little boy that the Model T Ford, that Henry Ford made a lot of money by using everything he had back into the trucks and into the Model Ts themselves, and that he would pack the seats with the cardboard which parts were delivered in. Now, I don't know if that was true, but it might have been in his case, a rural myth, not an urban myth. Yeah. But I wonder whether or not that was actually accurate.
Interesting. Well, maybe somebody might know a bit more about that. That's interesting. Well, recycling, isn't a new thing, is it then, if that was the case? Using everything. Oh, interesting one.
All right. Let's see if my late grandfather was correct. Someone out there might know that.
Somebody might know. We'll put it out there. Well, fine. If you know any more about that, give us a call, 8223 0000. Well, this is our last chat for 2014, so we're going to sort of look back a bit of some of the more standout issues that had affected you guys over there in New Zealand through 2014.
Yeah, a bit of a wander, I guess. Just looking back, it seems from this side of the year anyway, looking back to the beginning, it started nicely enough, Peter. It was very much a long and settled summer. There was a few storms and things like that, but generally it was a mild lead into a very kind autumn compared to other times when New Zealand has been absolutely whacked by significant storms and things. We had our fair share, but we didn't have the tornadoes of 2013 and things like that to the degree of severity where people's lives were placed at risk. The economy, right at the beginning of the year, it was supposed to deliver us a livable wage at least, and the Prime Minister told us we were on the verge of witnessing something remarkable, Peter. Remarkable was the word to use. And we were also asked to once again trust the government and its methods, irrespective of its illegal spying that it did in 2013, that it made legal and lawful after it was found out. We were asked to trust it in the election campaign despite the dirty tricks. It justified that particular style of politics that it was doing by, everyone else is doing it, so why can't we, kind of thing. And many were beginning to have their doubts about John Key and his Beehive boys. That's the ministers. The Beehive is the government, the building that they're all, the main ministers are located in, and here and down in the capital in Wellington, New Zealand. But the people who were having their doubts were not large enough to overthrow his very slick campaign machine when the Kiwis went to the elections on September 20th. So that's the politics out of the road. Yeah. That's pretty much where it was, Peter. But
I wonder whether that quote you mentioned there about from John Key that you were on the verge of witnessing something remarkable. I wonder whether he was referring crystal balling towards the election and something remarkable was him coming back in.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I haven't heard anyone put it that way. It might have been him saying, "You've got 3 more years of this John Key show. I'll be able to tap dance by the end of this. You'll love it."
Yeah. Has it been?
That's what it was.
Yeah, as somebody you keep your eye on politics for many years. Is it been a more interesting year? Just the range of things with all the dirty tricks and all the spying stuff going on. Has it been a completely different year?
Well, what I'll do is I'll quote an email that I got from a person who has watched politics for much longer than I, and he's a very well-regarded columnist for and was the political editor for the New Zealand Herald newspaper. And John Armstrong, he emailed me back in the election campaign and said this is the most bizarre political campaign and year I've ever seen.
Bizarre,
and I think bizarre sums it up.
Sums it up pretty well.
Absolutely. You know, from the friendliness, the over-friendliness of particularly our John Key, the Prime Minister, with the public, the engagement to the degree that we haven't really ever seen. You know, we saw back in the 1980s, from 84 through to, you know, almost to 1990 with David Long. He was toppled by his own people before he went to an election. But we saw a very friendliness, a robustness to the debate, a humour to the rhetoric, and a marvellously engaging guy. But there was an awkwardness sometimes amongst others when he was in their presence. John Key doesn't have any of that, not the rhetoric. He doesn't have any of the oratory skills. He doesn't have that warm humour, but he has something that connects with people, and you know that is almost incongruous to some of the policies and laws that he's put in place.
He has the X factor.
He has that X factor, whatever it is. You know, your Prime Minister Tony Abbott, when he first became Prime Minister, said John Key was his soulmate. Soulmate, Peter. There's that X factor. He's also spiritual as well.
Yeah,
you know, that's John Key. But culturally, Kiwis, got to say, you know, they've achieved some remarkable goals. First off, in the sports area, you know, you've heard me harp on, Peter, about the All Blacks from time to time.
The almighty All Blacks. Yeah, we look at them with envy as well at times. Yes,
sometimes, and sometimes we fear you guys more than you would ever realise. But the All Blacks have won every game. I've got that wrong. They have not won every game, but they've won the ones that count this year, certainly against the world's best, of which Australia is among those. And it does seem that the national team, the All Blacks, is on track to be a force in the 2015 Rugby World Cup, which is a very big deal globally, and it's going to be held up in the Northern Hemisphere. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they're going to win it, but they're certainly the one that everyone seems to be looking at. But then in other sports, you know, that often go under the radar, over here, a person has become very much, you know, right in the public eye through her own efforts, and it's Lydia Ko. She's a young 17-year-old golf-playing sensation, really, Peter. She's put herself on that treadmill of professional sport, and has notched up in the process this last year a few unbeaten tournaments. They're worth millions to her personally, and many on this side of the ditch say that, and they believe, that she is golf's female version of Tiger Woods. She's just so good at the game, but she doesn't carry that baggage that Tiger Woods.
Oh, that's a good thing. Good. Yeah, so she didn't want that. You know,
from a sport point of view, she is something else, and she's cool, calm, humble, and it's and I you know, as I kind of put together when I was thinking through this last night, it would be an understatement to say she is blessed with world class talent.
So one to watch.
To anyone who follows, she certainly, if people follow golf and they enjoy watching golf, some people would say, why would they? Others, you know, who love the game, I would say just watch person's career. Lydia Ko.
Lydia Ko. Okay, worth watching. Yeah, what is it? Was it Groucho Marx that said? No, not Groucho Marx. Someone of that ilk. You know, a game of golf spoils a good Sunday morning walk. I don't necessarily subscribe to that theory, but but there we go. And musically, now you've had quite a sensation, one of your own that's taken the world by storm. Lord.
Yes.
As she goes by.
Once again, it's the year of the 17-year-old. You know, New Zealand's 17-year-old singing sensation, Lord, with an E on the end, also known as Peter Ella Yelich O'Connor. That's her real name.
That's her name, okay.
Now, she came an international sensation through 2013, but certainly 2014 has solidified her place in the music world. You know, what can you say? It's just a fantastic ride for her, and also for those who enjoy New Zealand music. Her song Royals is big. I remember when it first started to rise, and I mentioned it on this bulletin going back probably around this time last year. It's said by some, mainly here, Peter, I think, it defines her generation. That's the lyrics talking about here. And I guess when you listen to the lyrics, it's an observational introspection through the eyes of today's youth. That's how I'd kind of phrase it. Whether or not I get whacked for that, we'll wait and see. But it seems to me that it connects to that age-old adage, that us and them complex. Like, our generation and our sisters and brothers would have listened to what Roger Waters' lyrics on Pink Floyd's super album Dark Side of the Moon, that track Us and Them.
Us and Them, yeah.
But that Lord's lyric doesn't have some of the heavier overtones. It's more an indifference to that. So it's an interesting lyric anyway. And it's
a catchy song to boot.
It's a catchy song, one of the parts in the lyric in the chorus goes, "And we'll never be royals." And then there's that repeat from the other singers, royals. It don't run in our blood. That kind of luck just ain't for us. We crave a different kind of buzz. And it's an interesting thing. And consider where she came from. She came from a place called Devonport, which is a pretty flash suburb here, very settled, almost colonial type of housing around Devonport on Auckland's North Shore. But it's a suburb that looks over the cityscape of Auckland across the harbour. And so I wonder whether or not there's something in that she grew up there looking across that water at the city, and there's something that comes through in the lyrics. But I guess unless she says, we'll never know. But all Kiwis of all ages this side of the ditch, Peter, they've really been celebrating her success. But the amazing thing is so do the Americans. Over in the USA, Lord, she's connected with the youth over there, today's youth, through any medium. Like Twitter is one of her big things, Instagram and all of that. She's just interacting all the time, and not just to market her music or herself. It seems like she enjoys the interactions, which is kind of interesting to see. They seem to really embrace too, her awkward dance moves. At first, critics couldn't figure out what it was about, but now it's become to kind of signify her particular style and her uniqueness, and those social statements that she's made. When she was going to the Grammys and she stood there at the Grammys, for example, she had inky fingertips, and there was a lot of speculation that what she was getting at there was when Kiwis go through LA or the airport customs at Los Angeles, that we get fingerprinted and our eyes checked out to see if we're dodgy people, and that was perhaps what she was getting on there. Then also in her performance, she said smeared lipstick, so there's a whole expression she's communicating in different ways. Anyway, you can see by what I'm talking about here that she is so well celebrated over this side of the ditch. She's become very much an icon, not just for her generation now, but for all Kiwis in many respects.
Yeah,
her music lives on.
Yeah, let's have this is the song we're referring to. For anyone not familiar with it, is a catchy tune as well.
It's a run in our blood. That kind of luck's just ain't for us. We crave a different kind of buzz. Let me be your ruler. You can call me Queen Bee, and baby I'll rule. Let me live that fantasy. Oh.
Very catchy as well.
Very catchy.
Doing well. And if all of her success is not enough, she's featured on South Park twice.
Yeah, twice.
Not once but twice. That's a sign of you've made it, I think. Either on the Simpsons or South Park.
There's your genre, picked up by South Park, and that's been met with a good grin, and yeah, what can you say? I mean, the other thing too is a lot of singers, they take a wee while to get to have their shot at writing the theme song to a major blockbusting movie. She's already got that. Her latest...
Oh, you there, Selwyn? I think we've lost Selwyn. We've lost Selwyn somewhere across the ditch. We'll catch up, we'll find him, we'll track him down. We'll come back in a moment talking to Selwyn Manning from livenews.co.nz.
Leon Biner.
Let's welcome the Premier and wish Merry Christmas to Jay Weatherall. Jay, thanks for coming in. I don't believe the decision is over with regards to submarines.
The reason it's not over, Leon, is that people like you and your program are continuing to fight the fight. I mean, it would be over if everybody just laid down and decided to cop this decision.
Leon Biner, weekday mornings from 9 on 1395, Adelaide's 5AA.
At Audible, we believe listening to a good book is a great way to escape the hustle and bustle, and we think you'll agree. So we're giving away free titles from some of Australia's favourite authors and narrators, including some unconventional parenting advice from Dave Hughes, A Journey of Love with the Rosie Project, an insight into the family law with Benjamin Law, and a look into 20th century Australia with Miles Franklin's My Brilliant Career, narrated by Carrie Bickmore. Download your free titles at audible.com.au/listenup.
Isn't it time you went on a Eureka tour? Eureka Tours are famous for their brand new coaches with good old-fashioned service. Eureka Tours spoil you with plush comfy seat-belted seats, large toilets, TVs, even chargers for your phone and camera. All this with a hostess to help make your tour memorable. Upcoming Eureka Tours include the Harndorf Old Mill Dinner and Lobethal Lights Tour, Christmas Mystery Day Tour, Captain Proud Christmas Cruise and many more. Eureka Tours, new coaches, old-fashioned service.
Get this, in Dave Potter Honda's free-for-all end-of-year clearance, get end-of-year bonuses ranging from free registration, free 5-year warranty and roadside assistance, plus free accessory packs. And if that's not enough, every new or demo Honda you buy at Dave Potter Honda between now and the end of the year gives you the chance to win a brand new Honda Jazz, but only at SA's #1 and most awarded Honda dealer, Dave Potter Honda, Brighton Road, Glenelg South.
Talking Adelaide with Peter Godfrey on 1395 5AA.
Okay, I had to pop another 20 cents in the slot in the payphone to get Selwyn back. Selwyn Manning from livenews.co.nz. Hey, we lost you mid sentence there, Selwyn. So we're talking about Lord. She's a theme for a movie. That was what you were talking then?
Yeah. A few weeks ago, Peter, she released the song herself, actually. Yellow Flicker Beat is the name of the song, and it's a theme for the latest Hunger Games movie. Now, that's huge, this new movie, and that's series of movies. Mockingjay, is that?
Yes.
Is that the name of the latest one?
Yes,
yeah. Well,
yes.
When the credits go down, people see the movie, and it finishes, the credits go down, and there's that haunting song there. Now, that came from the inspiration and, well, it came from the mind and the cultural creativity of New Zealand's Lord, and it's a fascinating one, and it's kind of a catchy one too.
Yeah.
So that's been doing well for her. The other big thing culturally, Peter, is Peter Jackson.
Yeah.
He's obviously the celebrated director of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and has already released the third and the 3 Hobbit movies that he has directed. Now they've premiered overseas first before New Zealand, but they're expected to seal the whole thing now. The story is told, and those involved with Peter Jackson's efforts in the Tolkien stories are saying that it's almost like a big part of their lives is coming to an end. So there's a grief being expressed by some of those involved. And this is the actors they're talking about. Now, this week, Peter Jackson, Hollywood celebrated his contribution, as they say, to the industry, and they did that by embedding a star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Apparently, he's in one of the more prestigious parts of, as they call it, the footwalk real estate, right next to the Dolby something or other.
Okay.
But that is apparently is one that gives an elevation to his considered status in such areas.
Yeah, well done. I hear, there's so many people, because we got it, the final Hobbit movie, Boxing Day opens here, and a lot of people, anxiously awaiting its release to see it.
Yeah, my brother Alan has been saying to me, listen, mate, we've got to go to see this. This is, I remember as a kid, he was a bit older than me, and he'd be sitting there reading, he even read the Silmarillion, oh man, that must have been something hard to read.
Yeah. Well, it's a big day, Boxing Day for Kiwi-related movies, because we've got Russell Crowe's Water Diviner opening too, Boxing Day. So,
we share Russell.
We share Russell Crowe, yes, indeed, we do. Nicely shared.
Yeah, best shared, isn't he?
Yeah,
when he's brilliant, he's best shared, and when he's not,
he's yours. When he's throwing phones at people in hotels, he's yours. He's a Kiwi.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, now, just to wind things up, a few other things to talk about through the year, because a recent thing was you found that New Zealand was the second most non-corrupt country on earth.
Yeah, That was last week we talked about that,
that's
didn't
right.
we? And,
yeah.
That was a big deal, and there was a lot of discussion about that right through New Zealand, trying to make head or tail of it. I guess the answers still remain elusive in many respects, but it all boils down to I don't think Kiwis can crow too much about where we are on some areas that weren't considered and how they put that together. But this week, the Telegraph, apparently, it said that New Zealand is the world's best tourist destination, Peter.
Wow. Yeah.
So if we are, maybe that's why the government statistics are showing a bit of a trend back to New Zealand from those who had migrated overseas. Kiwis who had gone overseas seem to be coming back.
They're coming home.
Yeah, and you asked me about this last week.
Yeah, actually, one of our callers, Ted, was wondering about sort of the migration numbers either to or away from New Zealand.
Yeah, and so I did a little bit of digging on that, and what it came up with, and this is what the stats say: permanent and long-term PLT, in brackets, migration to New Zealand had a net gain of 38,300 people in the June 2014 year, compared to a net gain of 7,900 in the June 2013 year. The net gain was mainly due to fewer New Zealand citizens' departures to Australia.
Okay.
So there are fewer going over. Mm-hmm. It's having such an effect on our things. And what it means is there's less, there's a net loss of 8,300 people to Australia in that year to June. That means 8,300 more people leaving for Australia than arrived here. So there's still more going to Australia than were coming back. But overall, the things are down. People, put it this way, the number of people going to Australia is down by 36%, Peter, compared to the year before.
Okay.
And those coming to New Zealand, coming home mainly, from Australia to New Zealand is up 32%. So 36% fewer going to Aussie, 32% more coming back home to New Zealand to stay.
Okay.
That's what you guys are noticing.
Yeah. Interesting. On that, Selwyn, we're going to have to leave it there because we're right out of time, I'm afraid. But thank you for all your contribution through the year and keeping us up to date on what's happening over there across the ditch for you guys in New Zealand. Have yourself a wonderful Christmas and New Year, and we'll catch you in 2015.
And thank you for listening to my monotone Kiwi accent.
We love the accent, Selwyn.
And I hope you and all your listeners and your friends and colleagues, Peter, at your station there, all have a wonderful Christmas and New Year too. Let's make it a good one next year.
Indeed, appreciate that, Selwyn. All the best, and we'll catch you other side of the new year.
Take care.
Thanks, mate. You too. Bye-bye. Selwyn Manning from livenews.co.nz.
5AA's Will Goodings loves the holiday season. So what's on Will's menu this year?
Well, my char-grilled peach salad will be accompanying every barbie. I love fresh produce and flavours. And look, this salad is absolutely abundant in them. Fresh peaches, prosciutto, buffalo mozzarella, basil. Christmas never tasted better.
And there's only one place to get all those ingredients.
Well, the Adelaide Central Market. Where else?
Merry Christmas from the team at 5AA. For this and other mouth-watering recipes, just head to AdelaideCentralMarket.com or pop in and ask one of the traders.
Australians are remarkably generous with charity donations, but it's hard to keep track of so many worthy charities. Introducing a revolutionary not-for-profit online donation hub, DonatePlanet.com. At the Donate Planet website, donors can sign up for free and then donate to all their favourite charities in one central place. At the end of the tax year, you can download a single tax-deductible statement. Please register now online at DonatePlanet.com. Together, we can make a world of difference.
Resthaven has been quietly supporting older South Australians and their carers since 1935. Over the years, there have been many changes, but the old values remain. Respect, integrity, choice, independence, safety and well-being. The team at Resthaven provides high-quality care and outstanding support. From a little help at home, restorative therapy, residential care or retirement living, Resthaven has options for you. For lots of helpful information, visit our website, resthaven.asn.au.
Just for one day of the year, Sammy's on the Marina ought to be called Santa's on the Marina. The only thing that looks better than their succulent seafood